The Supreme Court has announced that all establishments serving liquor 500 meters of any highway need to be shut down. Over the weekend, the rule wasn't really being implemented, but now attempts are being made to try and put this into force. What's also happening is that jugaad mechanics are working in overdrive, coming up with different ways of circumventing the Supreme Court's order. Now, this is an order that is very, very A, difficult to implement, B, prone to corruption, and C, can be a big deterrent to the tourism industry. While the intention may be strong, is the order that's been passed by the Supreme Court actually going to serve the purpose it is meant to? Take a look at this report.
Protesters, flouters, tempers running high. Just 2 days into the Supreme Court's none-for-the-road liquor order, and the nation is up in arms. From posh hoteliers to local liquor shop owners, India stands divided. While some marched in protest, others demanded tougher reinforcement of the ban. Angry protesters stormed the shops in Pilibhit, hurling brooms and bricks at local stores attempting to open shop. In Gonda, men marched through the streets of the local bazaar, hailing the liquor ban, threatening action against those flouting the rule. Meanwhile, in urban areas, hoteliers weren't happy, citing the hit on tourism and employment. Hoteliers demanded to know how the ban would resolve these issues.
Chandigarh Hotels and Restaurants Association is protesting against the Supreme Court orders banning the sale of liquor along the national highways. This is how the protesters have displayed their anger against the orders.
The Supreme Court judgment will take a tremendous toll on the hospitality sector. While over 1 million people are to lose out on jobs, the revenue loss is almost rounded to 100,000 crores. While 4 states have taken to denotifying the state highways, prominent hoteliers and restaurateurs are looking forward to healthy talks with the government.
They may have been not realized that we as the hospitality or the tourism industry are not in the business of selling liquor, we are in the business of serving liquor, and that also to our in-house guests. So from that perspective, we are very concerned. The impact of this could be very serious, both in terms of job losses and both in terms of revenue loss, not just to us as individual entrepreneurs, but also to the states and to the centre.
As hoteliers cried foul, their cause found an unlikely ally in the government. Niti Aayog chairman Amitabh Kant soon retweeted decrying the unwanted economic loss. A look at these figures and Kant's condemnation doesn't seem too far-fetched. Over 100 restaurants have been affected in Delhi, 42 in Noida and 106 in Gurugram. In Maharashtra, over 1,000 vendors have shut shop. In Kerala, over 1,956 shops have been affected. In Tamil Nadu, around 300 shops have been affected. Meanwhile, Centre has promised to take a look.
माननीय उच्चतम न्यायालय ने एक फैसला दिया है, एक सोशल लेवल जो हमारे देश में शराब पीकर वाहन चलाने के प्रति जो एक फैसला दिया है, हम उसका सम्मान करते हैं। लेकिन उसी तरह पर्यटन मंत्री होने के नाते कि देश के पर्यटन को किसी तरह से नुकसान ना पहुंचे, उसके तहत हम सभी लोगों ने, सभी FHRI, होटल इंडस्ट्रीज, सभी के लोगों के जो हमारे लीडर्स हैं, उनके साथ आज बृहद चर्चा हुई है।
But as watering holes go dry and nation stands bewildered and angry, will the apex court take note of the vast economic losses, or will state governments find a way around the go dry rule? With Shalini Lobo in Delhi and Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh, Bureau Report, India Today.
65,000 crore rupees at stake. possibly up to 1 million jobs on the line. Does this decision make sense? Will it help serve the purpose? Joining us on this broadcast, one of India's leading food critics, understands the ins and outs of the hotel industry, Saurish Bhattacharya. Saurish, welcome. Also with me on this broadcast is the original petitioner in this case, former Health Minister, Dr. Ambumani Ramadas. Also with us is Rahul Singh. He's the Secretary of the National Restaurants Association. I want to go across first to Dr. Ramadas. As the man who was instrumental in pushing this petition, Dr. Ramadas, explain, why do you believe the Supreme Court order will serve the purpose that it is meant to? Anybody who wants to drink and drive can tank up at home before they head out. Karobar is big in Delhi, it's big elsewhere as well. You can have a bar running out of your car. Anybody who wants to get alcohol will find some way of getting it. So why do you believe that this particular ruling by the Supreme Court will serve its purpose?
See, Rahul, it intrigues me that the entire media is not putting up the other side of the story, where 18 lakh people in India die every year due to alcohol, out of which 1.75 lakh people die due to road traffic accidents, out of which 70% are drunken driving. So this is a fact which no media is putting out to. They are looking at about employment and loss of revenue and all these things. Way back in 2012, the Congress government issued a circular stating that because of accidents happening on the highways, all the state governments should avoid having shops selling alcohols on the highways. Based on this, we went to the Madras High Court and got a favorable order asking Tamil Nadu government to close shops on the national highways. And the Tamil Nadu government appealed to the Supreme Court. So we also went to the Supreme Court and said, yes, this is not to be. And Supreme Court not only gave an order for Tamil Nadu and said, why can't the national government take a decision? And rightly so, the Supreme Court gave an order saying to close shops, state and national highways.
Ramadas,
see, I don't buy the story
one second. I understand your pain when you talk about accidents on the roads caused because of drunken driving. The data on our screen shows how, indeed, there are numerous cases of drunken driving all across the country. Why then should the solution not be changing the Motor Vehicles Act? Make it more expensive for people to drink and drive, send them to jail if they do so. You know, work towards social awareness campaigns like having one person who's the designated driver. This is a global problem. Look at how other countries have dealt with it. They've not started shutting down restaurants, pubs and tekas along the highway. That's not the solution.
India doesn't have, see, India doesn't have that awareness. Rahul, India doesn't have that awareness. Our road sense is the worst in the world. Even Pakistan has a better road sense than India. And the people here don't drink. They want to be drunk. That's the purpose. And they don't know how to hold and how much to drink. They want to be drunk. And they don't know. There are so many young lives have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost due to road rage and road accidents due to drunken driving. And rightly so. See, I don't buy the story of loss of employment. These shops are supposed to be relocated 500 meters off the highways. That's all. The same employees are going to be there and selling that alcohol in shops 500 meters away.
Okay, so you've built a case that you believe explains the Supreme Court order. Let me get reactions from the tourism industry. I'll start with Rahul Singh from the Restaurants Association. Rahul, there are 2 or 3 points. You know, one, the fact that there are thousands of people who die because of drunken driving on the roads, that's a fact. Dr. Ramadas says that the drinking culture is not proper in this country. People get drunk, they get smashed. And no one is saying that you can't have a liquor establishment or an establishment selling liquor. They're asking you to relocate 500 meters away. So what's the problem?
Okay, so the way you look at it, you look at the Supreme Court order, look at the genesis of the order, how this order started, how the 2 High Court orders were put together and the Supreme Court then passed an order on the 15th of December. This was all to do with the motorists, the heavy motorists which are all plying on highways, tanking up their supplies out of liquor vents which are tekas and, you know, little tin shops, and probably drinking on the roads and, you know, creating a deterrence to people on the road. But if you look at it from the hospitality side of the world, what has got to do with a safe and secure environment which a restaurant or a hotel provides? We have various licenses based on which we run our enterprise, our establishment. We are respectable establishments. We have licenses, we have CCTVs, we understand how much to serve, and this is an on-premise consumption. So I'm saying there are two. You have to distinguish the two first of all. There is a liquor vend and there is an establishment which is respectable in terms of a hotel or a restaurant. So that's the first point.
Dr. Ramdas, do you buy that distinction, or do you believe people like Rahul are just trying to ensure that their restaurant or their hotel doesn't get impacted no matter what happens to the others? His point is, look at the thekas, look at the liquor vends. Those are the truck drivers and others who are tanking up over there, driving, and that's where the problem is. Do you believe that's a fair explanation?
This is absurd. This is absurd. Does he mean to say that people drinking in five-star establishment don't get killed? Come to Chennai, I'll show you thousands of youngsters who have lost their lives because they have drunk in pubs and fancy 5-star and 4-star restaurants and killed themselves and kill others, innocent passerbys and pedestrians. And I mean, explanation saying that, I mean, people don't get killed because of
you
drinking.
You could be doing that at home also.
I don't buy that, and nobody,
so you could be, so that why do,
for me
why, but that could no, but you could do that at home also.
Okay, Saurish,
you could be
does the defense of the Hotels and Restaurants Association at some level reek of elitism? That they want their hotel, their restaurant to be safe. Theka ko band kar do, theke ko band kar do.
No, actually, you know, frankly, this order doesn't only affect elite hotels and restaurants, it affects even the poor toddy shops in Kerala. So it's a very equal attack, or like equal opportunity order, you know. But let me make a point, you know, if the whole idea is to stop drunken driving, this judgment won't stop drunken driving.
Why not?
Because the vents are going to be moved. Okay, today they are, say, within 200 meters, tomorrow they'll be within 500 meters. The fact is, all the vents are on government land, and it's up to state governments to decide, okay, if you know, they are going to safeguard their revenues at any cost, so all that they have to do is move them by 300 meters. Now, it is, I think, no one's case that a trucker or a driver cannot drive an extra 300 meters and buy his pouch.
Absolutely, that's a very, very good point in defense. Let Ambumani Ramdas respond to that. If somebody wants to get drunk, instead of getting drunk 200 meters away from the highway, he'll go 300 meters extra and get drunk there, Dr. Ramdas.
See, Rahul, here's the point that Supreme Court said that there shouldn't be any signboards on the highway saying that there's a alcohol shop within 500 meters or pointing in any direction. There shouldn't be any signboards in any national or state highways. So the guy is not going to know where's the shop. And so, they're going to avoid drinking. So that's one main point the Supreme Court has made. So you just can't say that.
Dr. Ramdas, I don't know if you drink or not, but anybody who wants to get his alcohol will find some way of getting it. You just need to go to any, I assume that, and I can see that. But anybody who wants to get his quota will get it from wherever. Go to any state which has prohibition. In Gujarat, for example, the guy comes to your hotel and delivers to you. So anybody who wants alcohol, as Rahul says, will find some way of doing it. They can do it inside the truck. They can carry alcohol. They can go 300 meters in, buy the alcohol, come back, and they'll be drinking and while they're driving on the truck or sitting in a car.
See, Rahul, this is a deterrent. The Supreme Court has said that this is a deterrent because there has been a notification by the government of India asking states to relocate the alcohol shops way back in 2012. And rightly so, because we have so much of accidents happening. I mean, that's the whole point. And we are not asking to shut the shops. We are asking just to relocate them so that it will be a deterrent for drunken driving, and it's going to reduce drunken driving. We know that India has got the highest road traffic accidents in the world. India has the highest in the world. And Tamil Nadu has got the highest in the country. So that is the whole point.
Okay, let Rahul respond to that. That's a good point. That even after somebody's got a seat belt, there are still road accidents. So nothing is foolproof. This, however, is a deterrent. And in that sense, you're sending out a message that drinking and driving is a big problem and don't do it.
Absolutely. There is no doubt that deterrence is important, but what you have to look at is enforcement. So if you look at, let's say, Sheikh Zayed Highway, which is a 16-lane highway in an Islamic country like Dubai, all the corridors, all the hotels and restaurants are situated on the highway. And I dare drink and drive. I challenge you to drink and drive in the US.
Very good
That's
point.
what's happening.
That's
if the
a
enforcement
very,
is so strong,
very good point.
If the education is so strong, you dare, I'm telling you, dare drive. You dare drive after drinking.
Dr. Ramdas, you know, just because the law enforcement agencies can't do their job properly, just because the police is not effective, therefore, you're trying to punish the hotel and the tourism industry. Fix the problem where it exists. You can't drink and drive in the United States or in Europe. God forbid trying to drink and drive in anywhere in the UAE.
Rahul, we can't compare India to UAE or Europe or America.
Is that the solution?
Far, far behind. India achieving that level is going to take another 30, 40 years. And I've already said that Indian road sense is the worst in the world. Absolutely,
why not, sir? We have enforcement agencies.
The drivers don't have any road sense. Plus the law enforcement, it's just negligible here. Like nothing. Even though there are few personnel out there catching the drunken driving and then getting money and then leaving them off. Like so.
Saurish, is that an explanation that there simply aren't enough policemen to actually police drunken driving? Dr. Ramdas says this is a solution.
I mean, the government should have woken up much earlier. These deaths haven't been happening only like in the last 5 years or 10 years. These deaths have been happening forever. So the government should have woken up 70 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, and set up state highway patrols like everyone has. And they should be there should be good communications between the state highway patrol units. They should have strong powers to punish and fine, and they should be, at the end of the day, the law should be a deterrent, and not that you make one sector of the economy a victim to solve a problem.
You know, and Dr. Ramdas, you were very casually saying that jobs, employment doesn't matter, revenue doesn't matter. You know, as I think Rahul tweeted earlier, that it's not about the ease of doing business, it's about certainty of doing business. There are thousands of crores that have been invested. People have business plans, they have cycles. Suddenly it goes out of whack. Huge hotels have been set up along big highways. They've been invited by state governments and central governments to do so. After 65,000 odd crore rupees are at stake. You've spent all this money. Now suddenly you can't serve alcohol, as a consequence of which you could lose your 4-star, 5-star license status. You won't be called a force. Those are not issues which can casually be dismissed. They must be a factor in this decision, Dr. Ramdas.
Rahul, I'll just give you an example. When I was a health minister, the BD workers, they were up in arms saying that there shouldn't be any pictorial warning on BDs. And they went to, a lot of protests was done on that leg. And but I didn't deter, the government didn't deter, and the Supreme Court also was firm on it, saying that yes, I mean, just because BD workers, their employment, that doesn't mean that you have to kill people and due to smoking. So it's the same thing. For me, it's lives of Indians versus employment. I'll definitely go for a life for an Indian. Even one Indian.
That BD also gives jobs, thousands of them. It's a big industry, but BD is dangerous. What is dangerous is dangerous, and therefore drunken driving is dangerous.
Why don't they put labels like they put on cigarette packs or on alcohol bottles? You know, if they're so concerned, you have those perfunctory labels saying that alcohol consumption is injurious to health. No, but we could have visual symbols, you know, which are graphic in nature and which scare
people.
How will
that change anything?
But actually, that is the point. Nothing has changed. Our cigarette consumption hasn't stopped. The basic issue is enforcement. We have to go back to the drawing board and enforce the law on the highways and not punish the easy victim.
Okay, Dr. Ramdas, final words from you. Final concluding words, Dr. Ramdas.
See, absolutely, for me, is the lives of Indians as more valuable than employment. When 18 lakh people in India die every year due to alcohol and 1.75 lakh people die due to road traffic accidents, 70% of which is caused by drunken driving, I would absolutely, in fact, leave it to me. I will go for total prohibition. Constitution 47, Article 47 clearly says that the state government should enforce prohibition until and unless for medical reasons. I would salute Mr. Nitish Kumar for bringing in total prohibition. And in fact, his economy is one of the fastest growing economy in the country today, his Bihar's economy, even without alcohol.
Okay. You're taking it one step further, saying forget alcohol along the highways. Dr. Ramdas, if he was health minister, wants prohibition. I shudder to wonder whether we're actually heading in that direction. Anyway, I believe very strongly in
liberty. Beef, Rahul. Alcohol is worse than beef. And Rahul, if you're banning beef, ban alcohol.
Rahul, 20 seconds, I'm out of time.
Liquor is a choice. We're not forcing you to drink anything.
You know, as Indians,
very simple. I'm just
part
saying,
of the
this is a choice. It's an adult choice. You're making a choice. I'm not giving you a polio drive. I'm not forcing you. I'm giving you. It's a choice that we're giving to you. You want to drink, you can drink. You don't want to drink, you do not drink.
Look, prohibition has not worked anywhere.
Prohibition?
And prohibition won't work today. We know what prohibition creates its own industry, an illegal industry. We know about Diu and how it services Gujarat. We know about the highway of Mahe, which today has the highest percentage, highest per capita concentration of booze shops, because Kerala has gone dry. So people go to the Mahe highway, which is the little drive away, to tank up.
Okay.
People will tank up whether you do anything or not.
Both sides of this argument. Really, the idea of India is an idea where people should have the freedom to choose. And there must be strong penalties. The Motor Vehicles Act should be amended, made more stringent. People should be jailed if they are caught drinking and driving and not let out. Those are possible solutions. Is this going to help? We'll have to see how this pans out. The hotel industry, the trade, the restaurant sector is up in arms. They're sizzling with anger. We'll see how this goes. Dr. Ambumani Ramdas for presenting why you believe this is a good idea, and to Saurish and to Rahul for countering it. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave this here.